Welcome to another episode of SKST Radio. And we're in season 4. And you know what? I felt like you guys need to be reintroduced. That's right. So I have with me the one and only Dr. Ron Smith. Hey, Dr. Ron Smith.
Well, thank you. How
Thank
you
you
doing?
for being on the show. Well, this is 4th season for me and season 2 for you.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
how cool is that?
I'm excited.
Oh, me too. Well, you know what? This man is like a financial guru. And so a lot of times I think he be talking about me, to be honest, because all that stuff he be saying is kind of like, oh, I'm thinking I'm doing it. So you are phenomenal. You're phenomenal. That's all I can say. And thank you for your show because it's teaching us all. If you think you know, you don't know. You have to listen to other people who've been through it, who knows what's going on, and you're my guru.
Well, one of the things that, unfortunately, all this wisdom came from pain. And my joke to myself is that basically I've learned financial information by trial and error. I'm on trial for some of my errors. So that's how, and that is when I talk to other, especially black men and, people, we never had the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And now 90% of it is that I know personally my mother didn't have the wisdom and knowledge.
Right.
Because of her economic status. Single parent with 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're 6 of us, but 5 she actually raised by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So her was mostly survival mode. Paying bills and putting food on the table.
Paycheck and
that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
she didn't really have the advantage of learning financial information. But her dream for me was actually to be a professional, go to college and get a good job and that sort of thing. So most of her wisdom and knowledge was, find your a good wife,
Mm-hmm.
have to go to school,
1,
and get a good career.
2.
Which means, and basically, her idea of success was to be on that job 20 years and get a pension.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I fulfilled her dream. One of the things that I try to share with people is that you can't rely on your parents' foundation because of the time that they were.
Exactly.
Times change. In 1970s, they changed from having a full pension plan for companies to 401k.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first moves. The second move was they took the dollar off the gold standard
Mm-hmm.
and put it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
See, at her time, a dollar was actually a dollar.
Yeah, it was a real dollar.
During the time we got into employment, inflation took over.
Mm-hmm.
So the dollar wasn't actually a dollar. So basically, the street lingo time make a dollar out of 15 cents.
Yeah.
It's actually real.
Real, yeah.
So that is part of my journey, and I have to share this anecdote because basically it's one of the trials of my era. When I was a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps, went to the duty station and I see all these Corvettes and Porsches and BMWs
Mm-hmm.
in my area that I was working, and basically all I could afford was a new Nissan Sentra.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I thought it was a black-white thing. I think these white boys was getting all this stuff just because
Mm-hmm.
they were white. I didn't know that basically what their parents had set them up for financial success.
Mm-hmm.
When they were like 8 years old, they were authorized users on their parents' credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So in 10 years, they had exemplary credit.
Wow. Yeah.
And so me getting a credit card in college, which I totally abused, I didn't understand that basically the utilization of the credit card was only 30%, which I maxed out.
Yeah.
So basically, when I became a professional, I was already behind what we call the 8 ball. Is that basically I was already behind, which means that basically where they were paying 0 to 5% on getting that Porsche, it would cost me like 18 to 24 because of my credit.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that. So basically, my whole show was the conversation I wish I had.
Yeah.
And basically, and that's what I share. I share the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right. But and the interesting thing is, you don't know what you don't know, right? And you can't learn if no one taught you. And so that's a big thing because I think about me growing up. I had a grandmother. I ain't gonna lie, my grandmother was bougie. She was bougie, and anything she wanted, she was a kept woman. So anything she wanted, she got. She would work for herself to get what she wanted, and so that portion was instilled. It's kind of like. But the good thing about me is I wasn't a kept woman.
Okay.
I kept myself.
Right.
I was that woman. I was even when I was a single parent, I made sure my kids had everything that they needed and wanted, because I didn't want them to feel the pain of not having that spouse in their life, right? So I've always worked hard. I always worked doubly. I've had a nice account and I had a zero account. And until I hit rock bottom, and I know I hit rock bottom when I moved away, when I moved from Texas.
Okay.
And that's the first time that I really, really felt, because I didn't have my security blanket. My grandparents were there.
Mm-hmm.
My uncles were there, and my Uncle Dave, my Uncle Dave always had something to put in my pocket,
Right.
My uncle just was he was my brother uncle,
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I have to admit I was spoiled, I really was. But then getting on my own 2 feet, away from everyone, closed down SKST, and just did it all from scratch on my own.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good, but I still was relying on other people. I lived with this lady and her mom, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I never had to do that before in my life, and God, please don't ever make me have to do that again, because it was just one of the worst times in my life. Mm-hmm. And so now getting back on my feet, finding the right job. Now I'm back where I started,
Mm-hmm.
and finding out now I need to be more mindful of my finances. I need to invest in what I feel is right for me in my future, mm-hmm. right? So I don't mind investing in our company. I don't mind investing in what I feel like this is the right thing to do.
Right.
But on the flip of the coin, I still want to invest in my retirement, the things that you talk about. I still want to make sure that I'm secured when I can't do no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so what you're teaching the world and myself is you can do both. You can do both. You have to be mindful of your finances, and you can do both. You just have to learn how to budget, how to adjust. So I'm listening, right?
Yes, you are. you got it.
So I'll go back to a question I asked you last year. How do you budget when you don't have a budget?
Well, you have to understand that if you don't have a plan for yourself, somebody have a plan for you. Mm-hmm. Somebody is budgeting your money, mm-hmm. your mortgage company, your bank, your financial institution, even the Louis Vuitton is budgeting your money.
Or the Gucci.
or the Gucci. And to see, the thing about it is that everybody has a plan for your money. Mm-hmm. So now you have to have a plan
for your own
to protect it. And the thing about it is that, and I call them, it's almost like playing a video game. The bank is a raider. The mortgage company is a raider. Everybody's coming after your money.
Yeah.
So now you have to put up a fortified fence around
mm-hmm.
it and say, hey, I know that I'm going to have to give a little bit here, but you ain't getting but so much. So mm-hmm. now setting up, let's say, your income expenses, understand where your cash flow is going, because that's key. Mm-hmm. Your cash flow coming in and coming out. That's right. Key. Once you have a good understanding of that, then you can branch off to, I'm not a big proponent of that you have to sacrifice. Like if you like coffee, I'm not telling you not to go to Starbucks. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you that basically if you go to Target or you go to Walmart or you go to shopping, they sell Starbucks for half the price if you like, espresso.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. That's good to know.
So I'm not, so what I'm saying is that you have to be more savvy about how you spend your money.
Right.
And you got to realize that you are the only person that's going to do it for you. These other, everybody else, no matter what the commercial said, and how suave and debonair and how glossy these portfolios, they are after your money. They're not regardless. So even if, let's say I could be your financial advisor, but I'm not pro bono, there has to be something in there for me.
Yeah, with them. I always use that word with them. What's in it for me?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you have to look at it from that perspective too. So basically, if you can understand, if you can track, first I try to get people to understand everybody is different. There's no one size fit all. And what is your ultimate goal is going to be? Ultimate goal is basically you're a business owner. Basically, what you want to do, you want the business to be able to sustain itself.
Absolutely.
Without any, outside, investments, unless you want to branch off into that. But you're not coming out, you don't want to be supportive of the business.
Right.
And then you have to understand basically how that separates from your personal account into your business
account.
And let's say, what's the 5-year plan? What's the 10-year plan for both of them, to understand what your financial picture is. So when I talk to someone else, they don't have the business side in there. So they when I talk to you, how long are you going to be able to, feed this until it become healthy enough to sustain itself? And we need to talk about that. So, and will this, let's say basically I am investing in XYZ business. How long would I be able to do that? So basically XYZ business will be able to start putting money back in.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically that's what you have to, for you personally, you have to strategize how you strategize.
Exactly. When I do, and I have my my plan, I have my business plan, and I know that if everything continue to work the way it's supposed to work, that if this does not pull it by a certain amount of time, if it's not sustainable at a certain amount of time, then at least I know in my heart that I did what I was supposed to be doing. I worked hard to try to get it to where it was. It just wasn't the time for it.
Well, that's one way to look. That's a good way to look at it. But then again, we need to actually let's say look at it. Okay, 6 months, a year, 18 months, and after, let's say, 6 or 12 months, what do I need to do to make sure the 18 months is where I needed to be? Because see, any business that has a concept, or the one that you have, has growth potential. But what we need to understand is that what assets do I need to put in play to make sure I'm meeting those target dates? And which means that basically, what we talked about, maybe going to other podcast conferences and see how they are doing.
Exactly.
And see what type of streams or additional revenue streams that they are interjecting into their business to make sure it's sustainable. So that is one of the things, that's just one point that we can look at.
Right.
How we can,
And which is so funny that you say that, because we did discuss that, right? And recently, we had I was invited to go to someone else's podcast, and basically what they really were trying to do was find out where we were financially, because they were pretty much in the same situation we were in, and they wanted to see what we were doing. And I thought that was just so funny, because we had just said, we need to cross, pollinate, go over here and see what they got going on, and vice versa. And so this guy, he was cool and he was honest, and I'm glad he was, because he was like, oh, well, see, you have this, and this, and we have this, and this. So it's like we were parallel. We had the same thing going on, and this guy's in a whole different state. It's not even near where we are. He basically was just looking for a top rating podcast to see what they were doing. And to sustain?
Well, there's a lot of ways to make money, and but I joke with people that basically, but to have a business with character and integrity is something that I know that you want to protect the brand.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you can always be sensational, which always attracts attention.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a level of
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to be, rich and famous or rich or infamous.
Right.
Infamous.
Yeah.
So my point is that, and that's another thing that a guardrail that you may have that other people in the same business might not have. So we got to, keep that in mind too.
Right.
And also, along with sustainability, how can you maintain your ownership? Because see, a lot of things that we see, a lot of broadcasts are getting a lot of ratings, and a lot of stuff, but where's the ownership?
Right.
So, that's a balance that you also have to keep in mind too.
Right.
And I know that's near and dear to your heart. That you always have the, control of your product that you created.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's guys, again, the knowledge that this man has to offer, I go right back to what we said at the beginning, the knowledge that he has to offer on his show is so priceless. I mean, you can't pay for this good knowledge that this man is bringing, and he's bringing it to you for free on the network. So, I challenge you to go back to his season 1 and catch up, because I'm learning every week. Every week I am. Even if I miss engineering his show, I'm gonna always go back so I can learn, because I feel like I am in a classroom. This is like additional information that I need. And again, you go back to the talk you didn't have. My brother and I, we had a show last week, and basically my dad was the welterweight champion of the world, and he had money. But do you think he taught us how to maintain our money? No, because he couldn't maintain his money.
Well, see, here's the thing, and I talked about it in episode 5, is that a little bit, we are taught to be consumers. The first thing I did when I got money, the first dollar I spent was on consumer. I bought candy because basically it made me feel good. So basically, let's say fast forward to when I became a professional, retail therapy made me feel good, which basically I fed into what the media wanted me to do,
right?
To be consumers. And I mentioned earlier that this nation is built on purchasing, buying, and that's the reason why there is not a news broadcast that don't talk about the market, whether it's up or down, because they want that to be on part of your consciousness to spend.
Right.
Very rarely.
That's subliminal messages.
Yes. Well, not even subliminal anymore.
Well, that's true.
Look at all the betting sites that's on TV.
Yeah. I know you. Now that you say that, I'm thinking about it. All this it's out there. It's out in the open right now.
And I'm afraid of what it's doing to our young people, because they have access to with their phones.
Yeah.
I mean, they can place a bet even while we're speaking now. I can be on my phone placing a bet.
Right.
That just that easy. Well, okay, they say $5, and that basically that entitles you to $200 with betting points. That is that is part of the seduction.
Yeah, to get you in. Yeah.
I really feel that within 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a serious problem in this nation, because we have young people that don't understand the repercussions of what they're doing at this particular time.
Exactly. And that's amazing too, because I mean, are our children really learning finance? Are they really learning this now? Because everything is done for them. I mean, if you go to McDonald's, the cash register tell you exactly how much to give the person back. You know, they tell the cash register you push the little button with the hamburger and the this, and then you do this, and then you push that little button, and it says, "Oh, $25 for a hamburger and some fries and a drink." And
the problem with that is you're paying with a card, so you never see the repercussion of that paying with cash. You know, if you give somebody $20 and they give you, you know, some change back, you immediately see the repercussions from that.
Exactly, because they don't know what to do at that point. It's sort of like currency. What's that? You know, I don't carry cash. I haven't seen cash when last time I seen cash? When I took the money out of petty cash, and that was what, a month ago. I haven't seen cash in a month. I very seldom see cash.
Okay, but think about it. If your 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 21-year-old self hadn't seen cash,
that wouldn't be that. That's what I worked for, you know. And I wanted to cash that check, and I wanted to count every little penny that I had before I put it in the bank.
Right.
You know, and when you can actually cash it at the bank, I wanted to cash it so I could see it.
Right. But now you don't have that advantage. So basically, it's easy for me to, you know, get an Uber or get Uber Eats, and I pay, you know, just as much for them to deliver it as the food costs. Yeah. And we are setting up our generations to not understand the value of actually money. Now, when I say that, I know. Cash really don't have the value. It's what it can actually do. So when we get back to financial literacy, we have to get back to financial understanding too, which means that basically, see, poor people learn how to spend money, and middle class learn how to save it, but rich people learn how to invest it, which means that basically, for, let's say, if they get $100, they want to make sure that basically they can make $1,000 out of that.
100. Yeah.
We put that $100 in the bank and expect it just to maybe get, you know, $50 on it, and poor people spend it. So
because they're hungry, they're going to spend it.
That $100 equals like $30 by the time they put it back in their pocket.
Yeah.
And you know, it just evaporates. So what we have to do is recalibrate our mindset about what this money, what it's used for, and how we can generate more, and basically, and how we need to build a legacy behind that. Now, my question for you is, what is the cheapest legacy that you can leave your family?
I want to say the cheapest. I want to say my books, my writing.
Okay.
My works of art. Okay. Because those are out there now, and as an author, published author, I have workbooks out there, I have books out there, I have short stories out there. They'll always have that. That'll always be there.
That is an excellent legacy. But I got one better.
A financial legacy?
Insurance. Buying insurance, and you know, I know there's been debates about, you know, whole life or term, and I am on the whole life thing, and I can tell you why in a few minutes. But let's take, for instance, you have I purchased let's say a $10 million insurance policy, and just a tip: when I talked to a person with New York Life, and he said basically, when a person who's not white come in for insurance policy, they don't get anything less than $1 million. Okay. People that look like us, we go for 25, 50, or 100,000, if that. And what he explained to me is that only a few dollars more, I could have got the $1 million policy.
But why is that not explained at the time?
Okay, one of the things that when you talk to a person, and episode 5, we talk about whether a person is a salesperson or is he a fiduciary.
Okay, yeah.
Fiduciary is responsible to give you all the information you need for your benefit. A salesperson is only limited to what products that he is selling or what company he's selling for.
Right.
And he wants to get the
more bang for the buck
for himself and his company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, it all depends who you talk to. Mm-hmm. So basically, you got to be careful who you talk to. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure that basically I did pass the insurance exam, but I made a conscious choice that I just want to talk to people to prepare them to talk to people who want to invest their money for them. I want to prepare you so when you do talk to a financial advisor, you won't be led to what he wants you to be. Mm-hmm. You'll be having questions about, okay, what is the best alternative for what you just asked me? Mm-hmm. What is your certification and registration? Have you ever been sanctioned before? Okay. The information that you've given me to invest in, how will that be a conflict of interest that the person behind the scene is gaining or you gaining from this? So those are things that I wanted, because that is the talk that I wanted.
Right. But are some of those questions offensive to the advisor?
This is your money.
Yeah, it is.
And
does it show that you don't trust them? I mean, I'm just asking.
Okay. If somebody asks you, how did you create this? And they were serious. How did you create a business with a podcast? What did you know? What made you the expert of that? Now that might be a little sting there, but it all depends on if I'm sincere or not.
Right.
And let's put it this way. And if I was a serious investor, wanted to invest in your company, then I wouldn't want to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
But first of all, you want to know, you need to do do the background on me, see if I'm really sincere or not.
Right.
But if I'm a sincere, want to know and invest in your corporation, I need to know those things.
Exactly. I get you.
And you have to realize that, see, one of the things that we give up our position of empowerment and control. We're talking about your life savings here.
Right. Ain't no sugarcoating. This is when you get to be in the driver's seat and you're making the demands, because this is your financial.
Okay. Reason why I'm passionate about this whole thing, because I lost a whole lot of money for not asking the right questions.
Gotcha.
So me intimidating you or you getting upset because I asked you these questions is for a reason. So basically what I want to do is empower you, since you hadn't got to the point where you are cashing in your 401k, and then you're looking at this 401k and thought you was what I call a paper millionaire. Mm-hmm. Let's say 2 years ago or 5 years ago, you had XYZ amount in here.
Right.
When you get ready to actually cash this in,
what's going to be left?
Exactly, what's going to be left. And then you start realizing basically all the fees that he's been taking out over the years. The questions I should have asked 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm with you, because go back and look, guys. If you do have a 401k, go back and look at that. Because recently, I just figured out and learned that my little money was being chipped away. And so that's kind of where he's references.
Yes.
Because we need to figure out what's really happening. Is it better? I used to work with a tax guy, right? And this man, he literally had money in his mattress. I kid you not. He kept a lockbox underneath his bed, and when cash came through that tax office, he would keep that cash and he would put it in his box. And that told me something. It's like, well, this man is a tax expert and he's doing all this and he's doing all that, but really he didn't trust the banks.
Well, my preference is credit unions. Be transparent. They are, I mentioned one that's kind of shady already. That's neither here nor there. That's another topic for one of my shows. But my point is, at least a credit union say that basically they're for the members. banks is they're in business for
them.
their investors.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and that's one of the things that we have to understand, that basically anytime, basically, remember I said we got to set up our moat around our castle, because raiders are coming in to actually it's just the nature of the beast, is that they are looking out for their best interest, or their best interest for their investors. One of the things that I didn't get to in my show, and I'm gonna ask you, when you go down to any major cities, who are the tallest buildings that you see downtown?
Banks.
And who else? Insurance companies.
No. Downtown here, I see the banks when I come
Okay,
through.
let's go to Dallas.
Okay, Dallas.
Because Dallas is a bigger city.
Yeah. Well, the reunion ball is what I think of.
Okay.
The big.
But if you go to Manhattan, it's the insurance companies
Okay.
and the investment companies, and one of the things that my question to you is, who do the banks invest in?
The banks invest in the businesses.
No, banks invest in insurance.
Well, I guess that's so too.
Banks.
But how do you know that though? I mean,
because I do my research.
Okay, so we wouldn't know that because we don't see that.
See,
the regular consumer wouldn't see that.
And it's the things that you don't see that actually move things that you see.
Okay. See, guys.
So my point is that if I don't know how much time we got left.
Yeah.
But if I were starting a career today, I would invest in a whole life insurance policy versus putting my money in a 401k.
Why?
Because a 401k is based on the market volatility.
Okay.
Insurance company invests in other insurance company, which means that
excuse me,
my $1 million policy would be $1 million policy. The paper that in my 401k is dependent on when I get retired and when the situation of the market. So which one is really guaranteed? Insurance company have never failed and never fold. The market has been up and down. Banks has been closed. So my point is that if you really, where the smart money is, Ray Kroc took money out of his whole life insurance policy to start McDonald's.
Okay.
Walt Disney took money out of his whole life insurance policy to start Disneyland. So my point is that, and I can even go back in history. The reason why explorers had equipment to load those ships, and to, our forefathers were part of the product and the charter.
Right.
But the insurance company invested in those things because a lot of the ships didn't make it. So basically, they created these corporations and the insurance companies for that.
So how did the insurance companies become so powerful? Because basically right now in America today, you have to have insurance. I mean, it's the law. You have to have insurance.
Right.
For either your car or for yourself. So what made the insurance companies grow like that? Get that so much power is what I want to ask.
The life of this whole country, the 400 years of its life, you had the insurance companies.
Yeah. I remember being the kid, my mom used to hide from the insurance guy because she didn't have the money to pay that man at the time,
So if you look at the longevity of these companies, that's what I'm saying. Well, it started with the Bank of England and some other, and the Rothschilds and the other people. They had a plan. So basically, think about it is that I grew up in Alabama.
Okay.
A.T. Gaston was the first black millionaire in Alabama. He started an insurance company as well as he got his start with loaning money to some of the iron workers
Mm-hmm.
in the neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
that created his insurance company.
Okay.
And basically that's how he started. Then he went into real estate, which is the next thing.
Oh Lord! Then the ball snowballs.
Yes. So
Well,
basically, you're looking at companies who've been around 400 years. If you just name the top 10 insurance companies,
mm-hmm.
they have been around for that reason. Because basically, remember, because insurance and banking is kind of intertwined.
Right.
So you put your $1,000 in your savings account.
Mm-hmm.
They rent out that $900.
Mm-hmm.
So look at that, how they
because
multiply.
they play with your money the whole entire time.
And I give you another example. You get a plastic card in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
That's money. They give you a 1,000, 5,000, 10,000
Well, it's a
line of
9.5 interest rate.
But my point is, they give you a plastic card. You don't activate until you use it.
Right.
So so
it's up to you.
No, but they just created money
just
out of
by
plastic.
giving you a card. Yeah, well, that's true.
Think about it.
Yeah.
There is no other transaction other than you pick up the phone and start activating or start making a purchase.
Right. Guys, we are so behind. We are so behind. Okay, guys, we got to end this show. Dr. Ron, we got to bring you back again because, this is so much knowledge that you hand out. And so I'm amazed because I've never been a financial person. In my book, I'm more creative. I'm an artist, and so to learn this other flip of the coin, if you're a business owner, you have to know this information.
Yes.
And when I talk to small businesses and to try to help them and guide them the right direction, I want them to know where every penny of their money goes.
Yes.
Even if you just have to write it down, I could get broke all day long, but I can tell you where every penny went. And I can tell you if I blown it, or if I bought a hamburger, or if I paid a bill. Every penny of my money, I can tell you where it went. Because I just don't. Now I've learned that retail therapy, I don't retail therapy as much.
Good.
So yeah, this is worth it. So guys, again, I challenge you to go back to season 1 of the Dr. Ron Investigation Show and learn what I've learned. Catch up with me. So I challenge you to do that. And Dr. Ron, thank you so much for being on the Cammie Grayson Show.
This is fun. Time flies when you have fun.
All the time. So we'll do it again soon. I think we should have a quarterly show like this for my listeners and visitors because this is some good stuff. It really is.
Well, it's our lifeblood, and until we get in control of it, you're gonna always feel off.
Yeah.
And what I mean by control is that basically you understand what your cash flow is, whether coming in and going out is almost in. Then you can stop the bleeding if necessary.
Right.
But if you never put it down on paper,
yeah,
you never actually see it. Once I say numbers don't lie, and basically when you actually see it, and if you see where it's going, you can actually, hey,
you can see
I'm not gonna do that no more.
Exactly. You can see, oh, wait a minute, I got this subscription that I didn't even use.
Yes.
Got to cancel that.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Okay, I donated to this person. Okay, we're not doing that this year.
Right.
So it's a lot, and I get it because even the little bitty stuff. I have a habit of doing stuff on my apps. I have a habit of playing stuff and trying stuff out and forgetting to close those memberships down from that trial, right?
Yes.
So this year I decided with this new season, no more apps. No more apps.
All right.
Just keep the ones that I have and just let that run me through my course. And that way I won't be investing more money in something that it's not even worth it.
And can I end on this?
Yeah.
Assets and liability is more than just money. It's the people that you let in your life, that if they're not adding to your life, they're a liability. So, and you don't understand the emotional cost that negative energy brings to you. And that's one of the other things that, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about anything that's not an asset to you. It's a liability.
All right. Okay. I believe that one too. Thank you so much. Dr. Ron, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
This was fun. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up, and we got more SKST radio podcasters and Street Grind Entertainment team members that we're going to be interviewing throughout this month. And we're also doing International Women's Month too.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of women, powerful women that we're interviewing on Mondays. So catch those shows on Mondays and catch the rest of our team. SKST Radio. We're on radio. We're on podcasting. We're all over. All you have to do is just Google SKST Radio. Please go to our YouTube pages. We have 3 now. Like, share, and subscribe. We have the Gospel Network. We have the SKST Radio Network. And then we have SKST. So we got it going on.
Yes, we do.
And we even have an app.
Hey.
We have an app.
That's right.
Google us. You can find it all right here. SKST Radio. And for now, we'll see you on the top.